Hi MS sufferers, this is a small set of videos that I'm going to produce to kind of show some of the things that I've learnt to help with MS symptoms. This symptom is one that a lot of people I know suffer from, and it tends to seem like a permanent thing. The fact is, numbness is not a permanent thing, and you can actually get rid of it. There's a thing called cortical remapping. You're literally remapping the cortex. See, if you have a numb foot, people say my foot's numb. There's nothing. It's nothing to do with the foot. It's all happening in the brain. And basically what happens is there is damage, myelin damage, and these are not things that I've just thought of and then tried. These are based on scientific evidence as well. What I'm going to talk about is cortical remapping. Cortical remapping is a way of literally remapping the cortex. So we have plaques and brain damage, but the brain's very plastic. Neuroplasticity is a well-studied subject. Cortical remapping is actually doing things, giving the body stimulus that actually re-stimulates the cortex. So there's damaged cells, there is undamaged cells around them, and you can actually influence the undamaged cells to take on the job, or become a donor, if you want, for the ones that are damaged. Synapses come in the millions, and when synapses are damaged, immediately, not next week but immediately, synapses adjacent to the ones that are damaged start sending out helper strands. Synapses, I'm going to show you something what happens with synapses. The main thing about numbness is to your central nervous system. You've got a numb foot, for instance. Your foot is numb because it's numb because it's numb. Your central nervous system forgets the foot's there because there is no signals coming back from the foot. So if you scratch the foot, that's okay, it tickles and that's funny and it's good, and the central nervous system is stimulated. The central nervous system recognises there's a foot there. Now, if you have a foot that's numb, you scratch the foot, but the central nervous system doesn't know it's there, so it stays numb. What we're going to do is learn to stimulate the central nervous system again. Cortical remapping is exactly that. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to stimulate the central nervous system. So eventually, quickly actually, very quickly, the central nervous system is going to wake up those parts that are numb again, and this is permanent. I did this. I had the numb foot a year ago. It took me 2 weeks to get rid of the numbness using cortical remapping. And my foot's perfect, no numbness whatsoever, and this is a year later, so my own little study there. There's been no reoccurrence at all. If I have an exacerbation in the future and it goes numb again, I know what to do, and I will use cortical remapping again, just to wake it up. Yeah. So what does cortical remapping entail? Let's get down to business, shall we? Okay. Okay, the first thing is that you need something to scratch with, and this is quite good. It's you can actually hold on to it quite well, then it's really good. And if you've got numb fingers, then you need something to hang them onto. Now, when you see the neurologist, he'll probably scratch you across the foot to see if you've got any numbness. If I scratch this foot now, you can see that I have no numbness there. This is important, this part here. I'll come back to this when we're doing the walking video, because this patch here is very important in walking, and you need to do a bit of cortical remapping. And you see my foot, and this is very lightly done. You can see my foot being stimulated by this. I mean, my foot was so numb that I could scratch down here and nothing would happen. It would be dead as a doornail. But it's not anymore. It's that is actually quite intense now. And it was very numb around this area and a bit down here. Now, your brain is set up in patterns, and when you're scratching, you're not going to be scratching up and down, because you can see here that it's not really stimulating much. If I start stimulating across to the side here, there's a lot more stimulation. If I go to the side this way, so I'm getting to sensitive areas now. You can see my toe. I'm not doing this on purpose, by the way. And so what you're going to start doing is scratching like this. Now this, oh, that feels so intense now, and it was so numb. And you do this, scratching, not too quickly and not too hard. This is sharp, but it's not sharp enough to penetrate the skin, so it's kind of like glancing over. If you go up and down, nothing's going to happen. The brain's not set up for things like that. As you can see, there's not much going on. But if I start going this way, then you get a lot more intense. Well, the skin's a bit hard here from walking and things, and you won't get as much stimulus anyway. The stimulus here going this way is wrong. Don't do it this way. Do it sideways, not long way. If you've got numb toes, then you do the same with the toes. So you go sideways. When you get to these parts here, then it becomes very sensitive. Be careful you don't prick yourself. When you're being tested, they usually do scratches like this to see if you have any numbness. So you get a patch like this, and then you work across the patch, all the way through the patch, and you do this 6 times a day. Yeah, don't do it less than 6 times a day. Do it 6 times a day, and don't do it 6 times one day and then leave it for a week and then come back. No, do it there every single day. And in 2 weeks, I guarantee you, in 2 weeks, you'll have got rid of, if not all the numbness, then the brunt of it. Okay? Because your brain actually remaps very quickly. And this is how you do it. I mean, it's just quite simple. And it's very, very intense now, because I haven't done this for a year and there is no numbness left. You know, it's quite tickly again now. Don't do this to kids. You can, if you do this to kids, you can actually put them into an epileptic fit or something, because it's very dangerous. It's just too much intensity. I mean, So don't do this to kids. If you tickle kids' feet, it's bad, but this is 10 times worse than just tickling the feet. So this way, you can, that is so tickly. Yeah, and I don't have numb feet anymore. Okay, if your legs are numb, go to a part. Start here if you have to, but go to the part where there is no numbness. So if there's no numbness there, and it starts to get numb about here, start where there's no numbness, and this is going to be a bit too intense for that. So I'm going to do either massage or scratching. Now if you've got sharp nails, then do your scratching on the outside of your pants and things, and then again do it this way, not this way, this way. When you're a bit fitter, then you can use the other leg to do the massage. You can do this in bed as well. There's no reason why you can't. It's more comfortable than when you're on a couch anyway. That's cortical remapping. The other thing you can do is called, is basically tracing the homunculus. This is what the homunculus is. So how do you trace the homunculus? Well, you need something like this. This is a bar that's in between the door handles of a door. Keep it in the freezer until it's absolutely freezing cold, and then don't try and warm it up. You want it freezing cold. What you do then is to start tracing around your foot. This foot isn't numb anymore, and so it responds to this. And then right down and round this way. You can use something smaller like a teaspoon for getting through between the toes, as long as it's absolutely freezing. In fact, keep 2 or 3 of them and keep them in cold water or something, so you can just pick them up and then you can go through like this and through like this. This is another way of cortical remapping. Okay, and you can do that again 6 times a day, and my foot's feeling quite stimulated now. Now a word about the stimulation. If your fingers are numb, then you can use the cold bar to go around to map the homunculus this way. Do it nice and slowly and feel it tickle. You're remapping the homunculus this way. And then back again. If you have numb digits, I had my left thumb was numb on the pad, so we use the scratching method this time, going backwards and forwards this way. The thing is, don't overdo it, because you can actually overstimulate, and you'll start to build too many receptors on the synapses, and it will actually start to become painful rather than normal. And overstimulation, you can overdo the feet as well. So when you are doing these exercises 6 times a day for a couple of weeks, start to reduce. If you start getting the feeling back sooner, start to reduce it. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to overstimulate things, because it will start to become painful. Pain is overstimulation of the nerves, and it's a fact that you can only kill nerves by overstimulation, not understimulation. So don't overstimulate them. Okay, and the next stage. Okay, key points. This way, not this way. Start off with about 6 times a day, until you've done the whole area. Do it about 6 times a day, maybe a couple of hours in between, and then do it again. When the feelings start to come back, I'll not guarantee that all the feelings will come back straight away, but you will get feelings coming back straight away. I can guarantee that. So what do you do about other numb patches, like on the chest and things? Well, the same. If we look at the patch on the chest here, then I scratched it again, not back up and down, but sideways. So I was scratching 6 times a day. I used to scratch it when I got in bed. You usually wear less clothing and things, so it's easier to scratch. And then scratching the legs and things like if they're numb, and it's the same process over and over again. I did promise to tell someone about the groin area and things. That's going to be more of a private video, but I'll do something about that. Okay, maybe I'll just tell you what. Yeah. Okay. And after about 2 weeks, if you've really not got anything going yet, continue. Just do it once a day and just see how it goes from there. It really is a sort of, everybody's different. Everybody's MS is different. Everybody's cortical remapping is different. But believe me, this really does work. It really worked for me. And a year later, I don't have any numbness in my fingers or my toes. This thumb I overstimulated and actually made it sore, but it's actually okay now because I stopped stimulating it. And that's it. I mean, it's a simple thing. This was taught to me by my physiotherapist, and big thumbs up for him. It does work, and I wish you the greatest of luck. Keep going at it. We can win. When you have numb patches in the body, and it's pretty concerning stuff at the time, and I hope this video is going to help you to sort of alleviate the stress of this as well. And until next time. The next video in this series will be about exercises and walking. We'll be looking at the walk cycle, and we'll be looking at the particular exercises you need to do to actually improve your walking. We will also be looking at the posture and how to turn on the central core so we can actually improve the posture immediately. Okay, so see you soon.